Am I wrong to believe that the way you look at me holds more than just friendship? Sometimes I catch your eyes lingering just a little longer, and it makes me wonder if you feel it too, this undeniable connection between us. Am I wrong to think that you've been keeping your feelings for me locked away? Because I've sensed something in the air between us, something unspoken, but so very real. Am I wrong to believe that our souls are already intertwined, even though our lips have never confessed it? Because every time we're together, I feel like we're sharing more than words, more than glances. Am I wrong to think that you've been hiding your heart from me, afraid to let me in? Because I feel like there's something you've been wanting to tell me, something that could change everything between us. Am I wrong to believe that you see the same spark in our connection as I do? It feels like every moment we share brings us closer, and yet we're still standing on the edge of something monumental. Am I wrong to feel like you've been sending signals, subtle but clear, that you care about me in ways you haven't said out loud yet? Or is it just my imagination painting a picture of what I wish was true? Am I wrong to think that you feel it too, that pull, that energy between us that words can't quite capture? Because every moment with you feels like we're tiptoeing on the edge of something real and undeniable. Am I wrong to believe that the silence between us says more than words ever could? Sometimes, in the quiet moments, I feel like you're waiting for me to take the first step, to open the door to something deeper. Am I wrong to sense that you're holding back, not because you don't care, but because you care too much? Because sometimes it feels like we're both scared of what could happen if we finally admit what's been brewing between us. Am I wrong to think that we're both playing a game, pretending we don't feel something more than just friendship? Because every time we part ways, it feels like a piece of me stays with you. Am I wrong to believe that you've been guarding your heart from me, afraid of what might happen if we cross that invisible line between us? Because I feel like I've been doing the same. Am I wrong to think that you've been feeling the same unspoken tension that I have? Because every time we're together, it feels like we're dancing around a truth neither of us is ready to admit. Am I wrong to sense that there's more to our connection than meets the eye? Because even in the quietest moments, I feel like our hearts are speaking a language only we understand. Am I wrong to believe that you've been hiding your true feelings from me, afraid of what might happen if we took that leap? Because I've been holding back too, wondering if you feel the same way. Am I wrong to think that you've been dropping hints, hoping I'd catch on, that maybe you feel more than you're letting on? Because I've noticed every subtle gesture, every lingering glance, and I can't shake the feeling that there's more to this story. Am I wrong to believe that the way you say my name holds a weight of emotion you're too afraid to reveal? Because every time I hear it, it feels like a secret wrapped in longing. Am I wrong to think that we've both been tiptoeing around the truth of our feelings? Because every time we're together, it feels like we're on the verge of something we're both afraid to name. Am I wrong to believe that you feel the same pull, the same magnetism between us that I do? Because every time we part ways, I feel like a piece of me stays with you, as if we're connected by something bigger than ourselves. Am I wrong to think that you've been holding back your true feelings, waiting for the right moment to confess what's been on your heart all along? Because I've been waiting too, hoping for the courage to say what we both know. Am I wrong to believe that the silence between us speaks louder than any words ever could? Because in those quiet moments, it feels like we're both on the brink of admitting something that could change everything. Am I wrong to think that we've both been avoiding the inevitable, pretending we don't feel something deeper? Because every time I look into your eyes, I see a reflection of the same feelings I've been hiding. Am I wrong to believe that you've been quietly waiting for me to make the first move, to break the unspoken tension that's been building between us for so long? Because I've been waiting too, unsure of what will happen when we finally cross that line. Am I wrong to think that you've been wrestling with your feelings for me, unsure of what to do next? Because I've been feeling the same way, caught between fear and hope, longing for something more, but terrified of the consequences. Am I wrong to think that your silence speaks volumes? Because every time we're together, the words you don't say seem to reveal more than you'd ever admit. And it makes me wonder if you're feeling the same way I do. Am I wrong to believe that every smile you give me hides 1,000 untold feelings? It's as if behind every glance, there's a secret you're too afraid to share, one that mirrors what I've been holding back, too. Am I wrong to think that our moments together mean more to you than you let on? Because for me, each second feels weighted with emotions I'm struggling to contain, and I can't help but wonder if you're feeling it too. Am I wrong to believe that you've been hesitating, not because you don't care, but because you're unsure how deep this connection runs? Because I've been hesitating too, afraid of where this might lead us. Am I wrong to think that when you look away, it's because you're afraid I might see what you're truly feeling? Because every time I catch your gaze, I feel like we're both on the verge of revealing something we've kept hidden for too long. Am I wrong to believe that you're just as scared as I am of what might happen if we stopped pretending? Because this charade we've been playing is wearing thin, and it feels like we're both ready to face the truth. Am I wrong to think that there's a part of you that's waiting for me to make the first move? Because every time we're close, it feels like you're holding your breath, hoping I'll be the one to break the silence. Am I wrong to believe that the connection we share is something rare, something neither of us fully understands yet? Because every time we part ways, I'm left with the lingering feeling that this isn't the end, it's only the beginning. Am I wrong to think that your casual touches mean more than you let on? Because every time our hands brush or our shoulders meet, it feels like you're saying so much without uttering a single word. Am I wrong to believe that you've been holding back? Not because you don't feel something, but because you're afraid of how real this might get? Because I've been holding back too, terrified of what we might find once we let go. Am I wrong to think that every moment we've shared has been building towards something greater? Because the tension between us feels like it's about to snap, and I'm not sure what will happen when it does. Am I wrong to believe that you've been hiding your heart, afraid that revealing it would change everything? Because I've been hiding mine too, uncertain of whether we're ready for what might come next. Am I wrong to think that you've been sending signals, subtle but unmistakable, that you care about me more than you let on? Because every look, every smile feels like it's layered with meaning I can't ignore. Am I wrong to believe that the way you laugh with me is different from how you are with others? Because every time we share a joke or a smile, it feels like we're speaking a language only the two of us understand. Am I wrong to think that you're just as confused as I am about what's happening between us? Because this unspoken tension has been growing for so long, and it feels like we're both waiting for the moment it finally bursts. Am I wrong to believe that your silence is full of unsaid emotions, ones you're too afraid to admit out loud? Because every quiet moment between us feels heavy with the things we're not saying. Am I wrong to think that you've been testing the waters, trying to see if I'll pick up on the hints you're dropping? Because I've been picking them up, and now I'm wondering if it's time to act on them. Am I wrong to believe that every time we part ways, you're left with the same lingering thoughts that I have? Because no matter how far apart we are, it always feels like a piece of you stays with me. Am I wrong to think that you're afraid of what might happen if we stopped playing this game? Because I've been afraid too, but the more time we spend together, the harder it is to keep pretending we don't feel something more. Am I wrong to believe that the way you say my name is filled with unspoken feelings? Because every time I hear it, it feels like you're telling me something that your words aren't ready to express. Am I wrong to think that you've been keeping your distance, not because you don't care, but because you care too much? Because I've been doing the same, scared of what might happen if we let this grow. Am I wrong to believe that every time we laugh together, we're sharing something deeper than just a moment of fun? Because each laugh feels like a step closer to something neither of us has fully acknowledged. Am I wrong to think that you've been waiting for me to make the first move, to finally admit what we both know is true? Because I've been waiting too, unsure of how to begin.